Hello everyone, welcome back to Day One Dev channel. And today we're going to talk about how to do GitHub Actions using a JF CLI, and uh, and I can show you so on a parallel. All this package will be uploaded to Artifactory, and this is where you can see all this release bundle is going to happen at this stage. Also, let me capture a bigger screen so you can see all the stuff. Right. So before we move on, when I run this project, just want to show you the job will be added here with a new job number, and it will move state from dev to QA and UAT. Sorry, not there is no UAT. It's only a product. So the job will be created here, then it will come here, then it will move to a QA, and it will end up here, just like this. And also, I'll show you once I create this pipeline. You can see here I already triggered my GitHub Actions for JFrog CLI with a Docker, and it will generate entire this three-step summary and the release bundle. This is calling Artifactory URL to get the information what's time my promotion has happened to prod, and from previous state was a QA, and similarly from a dev. So I'll show you all the stuff, and whatever you see here under this green line, green JFrog job summary, all this is auto-generated during after your package was done, and all this is comes in. So I'll give you all the steps how you have to do it, and there are a lot of exercises I also went through, and you can see this. I had a lot of failures in this project when I was doing this, and I'll give you all these tips how to overcome that. So to get before started, what I am going to do is I have the pipeline the way I triggered, and how to create an issue comment. So I'll just put as a today's recording. All right. So let's see, the job will start kicking in, and we can go to the action, and we can see here that I have two jobs. That two jobs will be kicked in. So you can see here it started now. Now, because we're going to focus on a Docker, and Maven is also pretty much similar. So I'll give you all the stuff. So on parallel, the job will be executed. You can see here I created this part, and the job will be keep on running it. And on parallel, you see here all the stuff is moving your project. All right. So let's keep our moving our stuff. I'll go to directly our GitHub Action pipeline. So that's where you can see the stuff. So there are a lot of things you can see here. I have a pipeline, and I defined, you can see here, I do not want every commit I do it. So I just created a fake branch name, which is never, I'm not going to create that. No build on push. And I did some exceptions. Whenever I push some, any files has been modified, the build should not trigger. Okay. So now let's come to the first one. This is what I was talked about. When you comment something on an issue, it will trigger the job. Okay, so this is a one part which you have to be very clear. There are some permissions you're going to give out here. I'll talk about why you need it, especially this one, security event, which I'm going to give you as part of this demo also. All right. So the first step is a Docker package, which I'm using here. This is what you're seeing here, the name, whatever it says. All right. So the name it shows up, and I have some strategy. Fail fast, which is a false, which is a standard, all the stuff. And I'm using the GitHub runner, action runner. It's going to be Ubuntu image, and I'm using a Java 17. So the Ubuntu image doesn't come with the default Java. That it comes with the default Java 17. Oh, sorry, it's 11. You get it, and exclusively you have to install a Java 17. So if you see here, I do have a script where I was running a softwares. I think it should be here or here. Somewhere I was running it. You can see this. It will be in my logs. And J17, you don't get it. You get 11 OpenJDK. Okay. So it doesn't matter what are the 17, I get it. So there are a lot of packages available. And I use this language for CodeQL. I'll talk about what is that also. And then I configured a couple of environment variables. And there are multiple Javas are available, and I do document it here. As part of this, you can see here there's a lot of documentation I captured, and we'll go over that. So the first step, what I'm doing is after I download a Ubuntu image, I'm installing JF CLI. So the documentation is here. You can go and you can see the documentation. So as part of that, I defined the URL, what Artifactory URL. It's going to be here. And before we get on, okay, the job 50. Just remember that job 50 will be created here on a parallel. Now, the URL is going to be, and I defined some release Artifactory where my Maven release is going to be, my Artifactory is going to be. All right. And then this is the one which I want you to look at it, the GitHub token, the secrets. You don't need to provide any secrets for this. This is automatically created for you. And this is explicitly you have to look at it. It's a OIDC provider. The OIDC, I'll show you after the job is created here. You have to do this enablement on Artifactory. And this is a standards for JFrog CLI where you're disabling false because they are auto-generated. By default, they are considered as they're not going to generate. So I turned them off. I don't know why it's a negative way. It should be a positive way, like a job summary, create a job summary, true. But here I have seen is the first time someone doing a negative. So anyway, oh, you can see here the job is in 50 right now. And I think it's going to be in QA dev state, and it's going to switch to QA sometime here. The job is almost done on this side, and we can walk through that too. All right, so now coming to our part, now the next step I'm doing is here is cloning of my Dart's code. I'm putting it on repository, and this is where I'm doing in Java setup. What are the provider I'm using it, and you can see this reference part of this one. Oh, I think the job is finished. Here you can see here the 50 just on a parallel. And now we go to Java documentation. You can see there are multiple Javas are available here on this. You can look into this documentation. There's a big good metrics you can see here. There's a lot here. Okay. Then after that, I'm setting up all this stuff and I'm running some CLI command to do what are the versions has been under Ubuntu and all this coming up. Then I'm doing some configuration of my Maven project. And then I'm doing in Docker authentication. I'm using OIDC user and a token. This is coming from Artifactory. Okay. Then I'm setting up my Docker buildX instance, what kind of platforms I'm going to support it. So there's a variable here at the top I documented and also commented out. If you need more information about this, as I said, there's the documentation links are here. And there's a pre-step I'm talking about. What this pre-step does is, let's go to our job summary. So I'm summarizing a document here, what all I've been doing it in a configuration setup. So that way, I don't need to, every time I don't need to come and look at my YAML file, what all I've done it. So it's just a summary of my stuff. I captured it here, the bigger picture. All right. So this is the one which you have to, if you have to do this, follow this kind of write it to your GitHub step summary. And you see here, I use emojis and all the stuff. So it will show me this icons here. Okay, now after this, what I do is this is where I create a package. You guys have remembered my pipeline, which I was talking about. I'll go to the pipeline when I said this one, readme, readme.cli. They should be here file. This is what I'm talking about, this high-level picture of the flow, right? So if you look at this one, this is where the package is this one. You can see here this icon, and it's going to be easier part. Later, I'm going to talk about a build info, and these are release bundles. So we're talking about the same thing: audit, creating a build, creating a scan, and creating a Docker image. Okay. So once I create a Docker image, then I'm scanning a Docker scan, and I'm creating an image list just for my reference, what all the images has been on the Docker. So that part, let me give you a quick walkthrough on this. What all we talked about? We talked about a pre-step and Docker image list. This one we are talking about. So you see here, one image, it's been created, and build, xkit, and Moby, all the stuff are it's been created under this, the runner. Then after that, build information we are capturing. And I also want to call out, there are a couple of documents I provided. Why this build info? There is a US Department of Commerce has some standards guidelines, and you can see here CISA, which is a government site, cybersecurity, cyber defense agency. They also called out, and there are also about NIST Gov. There's an executive order has been called out by US president, and all this information has been captured here. So this way, if you guys are talking about why do you need a build info, this is what it's gonna give you justification, especially if you are an architecture role. There's a lot of developers ask you why I know my package, what it is. So this will give you more details. And after that, I'm capturing some environment variables and adding my Git repository URL. I think you might have seen this part, or else maybe let me remind you again what I'm talking about. So you can see here this part, because we did a 50 and environment variables, it will tell you what all the stuff it's captured. And yes, you can see VCS is the information. This is a repository where the code is, and build information is build publish. All this you'll have. This is more for build publish is value added for a security guys. They can take this and they can run through all the stuff where you're getting all this information and whether it has any vulnerabilities. All right. Now let's go to our part. Then once you're creating a Docker build create, this is a required. As I said, why that is a required. If you don't do that, I have a one failure scenario, which I'm going to call out to. I'm going to show you that too. So where is this package? Okay, if you see here, I have a Docker images because I have two different platforms I'm using it. I have a Docker platforms here, and I have an Maven file also. So I'll talk about if you don't do this part. Let me show you, highlight this. If you don't do this Docker create, right? The challenge you're gonna get through is, I can see one of my first project, which I missed that part. You will not see this part. You will not see a Docker image. You'll see only Maven part. So if I'll show you one more also, I should have it. So after that, when I added this step, because I missed out, and then I can see all the stuff for Docker is also added. So you have to be clear if you're using a Docker. If you're not using that's the extra step you have to capture in your pipeline. So if not, you'll have some challenges and you'll not find out where the image has been missed out. Then coming back to our release bundle, is regular standards. I'm creating all the stuff. No changes on this part. Dev, QA, promotion is what you've seen it. It's been, and you can do an audit record. You see it's created, then I promoted to dev, QA, and a production. Now this is where I'll call out the release summary. You might have seen on my, let's go to our summary page. Okay. So if you see here, this is the notes I'm talking about. So this notes I'm creating it, generating. I'm not preparing this by hand, or I'm not writing it. So what I'm doing here is, you can see my script where I query Artifactory and I get in some information based on my package. And there's a JSON file is created from out of that, the curl. Then I iterate the object from that curl with the JSON file. Then I create as a status, what are the status of our environment. You can, oh, sorry, this is the item is created in this format. And from that, I'm iterating in environment value and the created date. So that's where I'm prepping all the stuff and I'm closing up my summary. So that gives me a lot of information. So that is a value added for me. The reason is if I want to see when this has been promoted by my package, where all it's promoted and when it was. So I don't need to go to Artifactory. All this is available on my information here. And finally, the build publish. All this is generated by JF CLI if you're using that package. So that's a one part. You can see that's a jar file where it has been promoted, and Docker images also. You can see this. There's a two Docker images. It's been promoted, but the catch here is this is only publishes when this has been promoted. You can see here it's been captured in a dev. So if I go back to my dev here, right? Okay, let me increase this font. This is where you can see here my package, all are under dev. You can see here's my dev local dev one. But if I go to, okay, let me just switch. So if I go back to my QA, you can see here they are in QA, right? But my build info shows me only when it was been promoted, and it will not show me the final state of this job when it was executed or it was ended. So similarly, you can see here Maven or whatever I'm promoted, it's been captured here under Docker. I don't know why this ended up in this one. I need to see why it restarted green. It should not be green. It should be Krishna. I think there might be an Artifactory. I might have captured that, right? So this one, it doesn't show you. This is only, it happens on early stage when you triggered build publish. That is the information it showed. So there's a that part is a one which is called out. Now let's see our vulnerability part, which we are given some security part, right? Now this here I have some security concerns. I think this is on a uh, Docker image. You can see all this stuff. This is a one good part which I like it. Whatever you click on this page, it will all show up in your artifact. It will navigate to your artifact, and this is on a Docker image. You can see here. So this is the one which I like it, the way it's taking you back to Artifactory where the vulnerabilities are. Now, we also talked about a security right. If you don't remember, we'll go back here. This is what I'm talking about. So uh, this is the one which I'm calling out. So now what this does is, so if you see here, if I come back to my project, there is security here. I enabled it. And I have also enabled, this is a dependent bot is not part of a JFrog Artifactory, but this is an GitHub advanced security. So you can see here, it will generate PRs for me, and it keeps it all the stuff here. And the code scanning part, this is what I'm talking about. The code scanning is done by JFrog Xray. You can see here, the images are, it will create a vulnerabilities part where the package has an issues, and it will tag all the stuff. So this is because you're giving a right permissions to create on this repository, that is what is going to help you. And this is another one. This is also, you can see here, it will capture a security token. I do not know where I have seen this, but it should not be in my secret CLI. I need to see that, and I need to resolve this part. So, but at least I created some fake data to show all this for you guys, and I hope all this makes sense. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me, or you can comment on my YouTube content, or you can send me on my LinkedIn, connect with me LinkedIn, and or you can subscribe to Day One Dev YouTube channel. All right. I hope you got something new, and I'll come back with a new video later time.